Good morning. So, yesterday I brought you guys along and showed you what we are doing with geography in this book. And I am going to show you now the second half of what we are doing. Reading. My children are natural readers. Reading is a big part of what we do, and I have always made sure that when I buy books, you guys know I'm very picky about what I bring in, and I'm more focused on the quality of the book versus quantity. So we don't do a lot of cartoony type books, just because there's really no need. They're, purely for play. I need things that are educational and things that they can actually learn from, and there's a message. So I do a lot of research, and a lot of the books that I do select are the ones that I used with my older kids when they were younger, and I know that they are well enjoyed. I do a lot of Caldecott honors books and things like that because I feel that children need a wide variety to read from. And my kids are knowledge hungry. So when I introduce something to them, they want to know the why, they want to know the where, they want to know the who. Some days we can just read a book, and that is cool because by the time we get done talking about it, it's hours later. They will dissect a book, just the simplest book, down to the word. And my older kids are like that. So I had to put a spin on our reading. Now, we were already reading books from everywhere, and I decided to incorporate that into our geography. So in this book I showed you guys yesterday, it has some suggestions for literature in here. And so what I did was basically go off of what I went to our bookshelf and I pulled out what we already had. Okay, so let me give you an example here. Story About Ping, which we read sometime last year. Okay, and this is in the China country or continent, the continent of China. And when we read it, I made sure to focus on the Yangtze River and just the story in general. It was basically about obedience. And in the geography portion, this is one of the highlights. So I reminded the kids when we started China of Ping. So they kind of, the correlation went there. There's also, on some of the lessons, in the Bible portion, it will give you, see, here's the story about Ping, where it relates in the Bible. It's about obedience. So some of these scriptures I pick and pull if they relate to what we have. If not, I don't worry about it. So I told you guys, they were doing their pandas. They finished the pandas. I also threw in some handwriting. because I have a 3, 2, and the twins are 5. So they still need handwriting. So I threw handwriting into this lesson. This was something that I had already printed out and had ready, and we just hadn't got to it, and it was just perfect to throw in this lesson. So this can go into their geography binder. Alright, so getting to the actual part, like I said, the books in there that they are recommending, of course you can use your library to get those things, but I suggest you do what I did. Start at your bookshelf, pull out your books, and look through them so that you can see what you already have. Okay, I might need that. So what we are doing for the second part is read around the world. And this is something I had already been doing with the kids. We just read books from everywhere because I like to expose them to different cultures, so that they can get a full background of people and culture and things like that, and stories. They're told different ways, folk tales and things. They're told different ways in different parts of the world. So I upped it. Besides us just reading different books and discussing them, I incorporated it into the geography by pulling out what we had from our shelf. And I'm going to give you this, and then I will show you what we already have. I will leave a link in the description box, okay, for these stories. I found a great site that does reading around the world. So if you don't have resources on hand, or enough resources on hand, you can go to this site and print off what I did. It will save you the hassle of going to the library or buying the books. It's cheaper. Just print it off. They're really short stories. And so on this site they have stories from different countries. So this one is China. Because we did Ping already, I wanted to bring in another story. And my kids, we have to read 3-4 books at a time, so I had to make sure I had enough per country. But I basically went through, after I looked at our books, I went through the list of went through the countries that they have on this site, and I just printed off the ones that I liked after I read through them. So as you can see, that's basically 3 pages. The Turtle and Monkey, that's a Filipino story. This one is a Tamil story. This one is rather long. This next one is Turkey. So we're into Turkey now. This is the one we're doing next. This one is Poland, because we're in the continent of Asia, and we're going to move on next. This one is Brazil. I may have skipped one. I know one of these stories is only 1 page. I think it's in the back. This one is Bolivia. And this one is Somali. And just basically you have to highlight and save these stories into a file, and then go in and print them. And you can do it without the art if you choose. It's just however you set it up, but that's how you do it to get these stories. This one is an Afghan story. And this one, the last one, this one is an Aboriginal story. So, that is our read around the world. And those just go in there, and we read those as we get to that country. So, let me show you this stack of books. Here is what we already had on the shelf. This one is a Chinese story. And there are pictures in here. We have Inuit Tales. And this one I really love because it's a kind of a read with me to help the beginning readers. This one is A Tale from Africa, which we have many African books, but this one is Ashes. This one's from Mexico. This one we had, I have already read basically all summer. When I introduced it, they loved it. They wanted to learn all about it. But so this is just the example of what you may already have. And we actually have the tape, the cassette tape to go along with this. So Italy, of course. We have Song of the Swallows. I think this one is Spain. I'm going to say Spain or Mexico. It's South America. We have Many Moons. This one is really cute. Talks about a royal wizard and a royal mathematician. Kind of fairy tale-ish, but English. We have Island in the Sun by Harry Belafonte, and this one is based in Jamaica, and there's a song that goes along with this, if you guys didn't know. This has always been a favorite of my kids. Very colorful. We have The Glorious Flight, and this is across the English Channel. We have a Madeline collection. I chose Madeline in London, and so when I picked, I had to make sure that the books were focusing on a particular country, that it actually talked about that country, not just me going in and saying, okay, this is a different book, because all of our books are like that, but not all of them highlight that particular country. Tiki Tiki Timbo, which is a suggestion in Galloping. This one is China or Asia. A Russian Tale. Maybe this one has pictures in it. And we have an African folktale. You know, the continent of Africa is huge. So, and we've already delved into Africa last year. So I had to add on to that. I'm not sure which countries that we're going to do. I know we're doing Somalia. But I don't know which other ones we'll do. And this one is an Alaskan Tale. This one is Hawaiian Tale, or Hawaiian Story. This one is another Mexican legend. This one is Asia. Talking about the tundra in a village. Jaime Javelina. So it's talking about, it's Spanish, but it's also talking about the desert in Arizona. Guys, when the United States is a whole nother spin. So, these are basically the countries, the foreign countries. The chicken and duckling, this is from Russia. Tao Cam and the Pueblo Shooter, also Asia. Limpopo, which is also a suggestion in Galloping, Asia. And we also have, let's see, I have two more. Our Children Just Like Me, Our Favorite Stories, which is a great one. This one is stories from around the world as well. So you have Brazil, you have Mexico, Canada, France, Finland, Botswana, Morocco, India, Mongolia, New Zealand. So this would be, if you didn't have any other resources, I would suggest start with this one, because it has a great variety of stories in here already. And then we also have, because of the activities in the book, like I said, a lot of the things I want to go in the notebooks, so they have to be flat. That's where the coloring pages and the handwriting come in, and the maps and things. But some things, my older kids, we always work from this book. So I brought this book out again, and we are going to do, or we have started doing some things from here. So it gives you lots of art projects and ideas. This is Native Americans, and we will leave that one for when we get to the states. Again, we kind of dropped off on the states in a heavy sense. We are still learning because they are doing, what is that, Scrambled States of America. This is Inuit finger mask. So, Mexican Tin Rooster. What do we do? The Chinese lanterns. Africa. So they give you the map in here. And a lot of these give you the template so you can print the stuff out if you're not so artsy. So you don't have to have this, but this is a good resource. You could always Google crafts from that certain country and pull up some great things. So India. So that is that. This is for ages 3 to 9. And like I said, I am enjoying this because we are stepping up. You know, we don't have to go at such a fast pace. And this is going to, this style of learning the continents and the countries is going to last us for a long while. I don't see them outgrowing this. The, you know, in the long run. And you can cater the reading to your child's level. So the same thing I just showed you, these books, get the books you already have, look through them, their chapter books or what have you, and go from there. Like I said, the country studies, the printouts go along with the books. The visas in here, I am going to write down the book, the day that we read the book, and the day that we finished the project. That's how we're going to use the visas to start with. And I won't bring these out again until next year because I want them to be able to use the visas. I am trying to get them knowledgeable on excuse me, what it takes to travel abroad. I lived abroad myself as a child, and I want them to know that there's a process that you have to go through to travel. So that is why I have incorporated the passports as a way to include with the books and our reading around the world. So I will, if you guys are interested in where I got the printouts, just leave me a comment if you need some further clarification on anything. Leave me some comments, leave me your thoughts, leave me your ideas. What are you doing? If you're doing anything like this, or if you've done anything like this with your children, let me know. If you have, if you find this helpful, please let me know. And again, I am going to leave in the description box the website for this, or not for that, but for these stories, so that you can, pull up these stories. With these stories and the Children Just Like Me, this book, you should be really set for a good basis until you get other things if you choose. But I mean, for some this may be a lot, but again, like I said, for my children, they are knowledge thirsty, so I have to keep them going. I have to be prepared on the reading front, because if not, then we are sunk. They're scrambling around, and we wasted time that we could be actually learning. And I, again, am so happy that I found a way to engage all of them. I have several different types of learners, and they are all engaged. I mean, the design is so short that every day they are just ready. They're ready. What are we doing next? What are we, and so I don't have a problem with, oh, we have to do this again, or let's take a break. I mean, of course, if we have to take a break, that's fine. I'm not hard and fast to a schedule. I do have it in my lesson plan, but if it takes longer than, what I've set out, then so be it, because we have a long time to accomplish this. But I had to incorporate all of the age levels, so it worked in this sense. Of course, like I said, with older kids, you're going to want book reports and things like that. So you will definitely, or you may just want to do a reader response. And then that's where they get their handwriting and their grammar and things. For, mine, we're just focused on this, and they're going to go in and do this part. But, yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And hopefully I will bring you back, because, I mean, this is just the geography part of what we have been doing this year. I still have to catch you guys up on a lot of the other things. If you've been watching recently, we just did some activities, and I want to share where I got those activities. So, thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.